and I.
Vermilion lies. Global warning. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. We're live in Copenhagen in, well, the only daily global broadcast on television and radio from right here in the Bella Center, where the COP15 climate summit is taking place. We're in the second day of the summit. We turn now to Nigeria's best-known environmental leader, Nnimmo Bassey. He's the founder of Environmental Rights Action in Nigeria. He serves as the international chair of Friends of the Earth. He's campaigned against Shell Oil's presence in the Niger Delta for nearly two decades. Last night, he spoke at the opening of the Climate Forum along with Naomi Klein. His forthcoming book is called To Cook a Continent: Destructive Extraction and the Climate Crisis in Africa. To cook a continent. Welcome, Nnimmo.
Thank you.
What do you mean to cook a continent? Well,
Africa has been in the pot for centuries now. It's where everybody goes to extract resources. Right now, Africa is divided up. Our land is being grabbed, turned into plantations, turned into agro-fuel farms, turned into where people would plant trees and claim carbon credits. Africa is being taken as the backyard where resources are extracted at the least cost and at the maximum profit. Africa is in the pot, and the fire is being stoked by climate change more than you could imagine.
Explain climate debt, and what are reparations?
Yeah, when we look at the impacts of global warming, climate change, it's agreed that Africa is the highest hit. I know the small island states are really hit by it, but we heard from scientists that where 1 degree, the temperature may change by 1 degree elsewhere, and Africa is going to be much more than that. And so Africa is directly in the front line being hit by global warming, and we all know that Africa is the least contributor to the store of carbon in the atmosphere. So the space has all been taken up. Africa has little space left for development if we want to follow the same polluting development paradigm that has caused what we're facing now. And Africa is being hard hit by the impacts of global warming. And so there's a debt that is being owed Africa by the global north, by the industrialized nations who are responsible for the climate change that we're seeing now. And, Africa cannot just be condemned to adapting, every time adapting to problems they did not create. So the global north owes a debt, not a gift, not a loan, not a grant, but a real debt to help Africa develop, systems that would make it more resilient to the impacts of global warming, as well as helping Africa to adopt technologies that are more green, that are low carbon intensive. And this is in the self-interest of everybody in the world. Because if Africa does not now wake up suddenly to begin to pollute as much as others have been doing, then we're all better off for it.
Nnimmo Bassey, can you explain the lawsuit that The Hague is now considering against Shell, a decision expected by the end of the year?
Yes, there are 3 communities in the Niger Delta decided to sue Shell International, a Shell Development Company of Nigeria, in The Hague, for environmental pollution. It's the first of its kind, because this time around we are not challenging Shell over human rights abuses, which we believe they are guilty many times over. We're challenging them for environmental pollution because over the years they have so brazenly polluted the Nigerian environment. In fact, we have about 300 oil spill incidents every year in the Niger Delta by official estimates. So it's much more than that. It's like 1 spill every day. Most of this due to rotten, rusty equipment that the oil corporation have deployed in the region. And so the communities from Ikoda, that's one. The other one is Ruma, and the other one is Goi Inogoni, suing Shell for destroying the environment through oil spill. And the case of Goi Inogoni is very important because in that community, Shell's pipeline spilled oil in 2004. And Shell has claimed over and over again that they've cleaned up the spill. About a week ago, I visited Goi just to see for myself what the situation is. And it's a devastated swampland. Mangroves burnt, destroyed by spills. And there's just no way the people can fish anymore. the environment is not remediated. Everything is just as it was many years ago by Shell's spill. Then another case is that of Ikot Adaudo in Akwa Ibom State, southeast of Nigeria, the Niger Delta. Now, early last year, a Shell wellhead suddenly erupted and spilled oil for 5 months before it was stopped. And it wasn't stopped until the Nigerian Senate sent a delegation to visit the spill. In fact, the spill was becoming like a tourist attraction. Those who had never seen a spill had to go to see the wellhead bubbling, and the entire farmland was turned into a crude oil lake. And so communities are saying Shell has to be held accountable. And you know, the first hearing came up a couple of days ago in The Hague, where Shell was saying that Shell International cannot be held accountable for what Shell Nigeria does in Nigeria, and that is a big laugh, because they are together, there is a family, they share, they don't divide the profits. All the money goes to Shell International, so how could they say?
Finally, Nnimmo Bassey, what do you want to happen out of here when you have world leaders like our own President Obama saying there will not be a binding agreement coming out of COP15, the summit?
It's really shocking that Obama would say a thing like that before even coming down here. It's like telling us that we've come here to waste our time. I mean, that kind of statement means to me that we have a lot of time to play around with politics of climate change. But indeed, the world has no time. We've run out of time. We're not even in injury time. We've gone to the brink, and the President of the United States, Obama, has a responsibility to take this matter seriously. It's an issue of justice. It's completely unethical to play politics or play under the table, to make some private secret deals among presidents about climate change. That is totally unacceptable.
And what are you going to be doing about it in this last 10, 15 seconds? Well,
we are here with Friends of Earth International. We're here with a big team. We have civil societies, climate justice activists. We're all here, and we're going to push as hard as we can that false solutions are not the way to go. Climate change can be tackled, and it must be tackled at source.
Nnimmo Bassey, I want to thank you very much for being with us, co-founder of Environmental Rights Action in Nigeria and Friends of the Earth International Chair. That does it for today's broadcast. Democracy Now! Is produced by Mike Burke, Sharif Odokadu, Sarah Mate, Angelique Hammett, Steve Martinez, Nicole Salazar, Hani Massoud, Ravi Karen, Mike DeFilippo, Peter Curries, Miguel Noguera, our engineer. Special thanks also to Becca Staley, Nick Gilla, Hugh Grant, Samantha Chambly, Jessel Nurjan Gerberg. Our website is democracynow.org. Check for the latest. From here, live in Copenhagen, I'm Amy Goodman.